this team that you described, which has this knowledge, the cross knowledge of both technology and tax, is a rare thing. We in Deloitte also, we sometimes actually had spend almost 1.5 year actually training technology resources to understand tax, or tax resources to understand technology, to have what I would say these are the valuable people who are sit at the crossroads of both these skill sets. So my next question is, this team, how do you get these people? Do you train them internally? Do you I know you're a software company, so it's probably the IT skills are very much available, but trying to kind of get the IT engineers to understand tax and the requirements of tax is a very challenging process. We have our own internal experience, and therefore, how do you make sure that this particular team is, within your organization, is available for your agile changes that are required, and how do you keep them motivated?
Uh, First of all, we have not hired someone from the outside.
Right.
What we have sensed actually within the team, there are people who are good on a technology, who are updated. Maybe they are using some new social media techniques, or those who are interested in what is the changes, where it is going, how the cryptos work, what is the quantum computing and all those. So that those has been sensed. This is a young generation guys, those who were into tax, but they are also interested into technology. So those people actually helped us a lot. So they have been groomed for a role which will be a bridge between the IT guys, because you have this terminologies are different. The tax terminologies are not understood by the IT people, and the IT terminologies are not understood by the tax people. So you require somebody in between, and these are the guys actually. These resources we have at least um, in India we have 4 or 5 people of that kind, and at geography is the major geography US also we have one person who acts as a bridge between the IT developers and the tax requirement. And there are few people those who are very good in tax law, the changes, interpretation, how it impacts the TCS business, those who know the business well, how we operate, what are our standard models, and what is the ideal thing for TCS to deliver those uh, deliverables in the project. So one person is having a commercial business as well as the tax knowledge, and he also knows that if any tax requirement comes, then where to go and to whom they should reach. But actual part is done by the IT guys, those who will make the changes. But there are people, those who are in between. So that
Sure.
way we manage, and it is working well.
Okay. Okay. Another thing that I just wanted
So the
to get.
second question you said,
Yeah.
how you motivate the people. See, that is the primarily this is, and I can tell you, if 10 years back, the role of tax manager or the person who is handling the taxes was more to do the compliances, file returns, face the assessments, and at the most litigations. That is no more, and the technological part is getting more and more. So it is taking a pie of the other part, and this become a larger kind of a piece. Today if you look at it, it's 50-50, unless even at the top person, he must understand the technology, because otherwise it could have impact. Because last time I have seen one, there was one news under which one of the company, one of the player, they lost almost 900 crore worth of ITC into tax credit, and the reason, it was a technology, and they lost it in the Supreme Court also. So it's a huge business impact, because they couldn't get that money reported to the tax office. within time, whatever prescribed, because they were not organized. They're organized means the institution or the organization was not ready for the change what is required by the tax law. So therefore, it must be, and it's because sheer the technology. They couldn't file the tran return or something. See, that return filing is a process in itself, and where you may face the glitches, where you require to do certain things. For that, you must know how it needs to be filed. So now this becomes a major part of the tax function. To operate efficiently, you must know people, you must have resources, those who know this well. Now, to keep your resources engaged, you require to give them a different kind of a work. Because monotonously, if he is doing the same, he is only looking at the TDS and just filing those things, then ultimately the people get frustrated. Now, what we are doing in tax, we are giving the monotonous job to either we are automating our reports where you will not require the manual intervention, and we are using RPAs for certain repetitive kind of functions or a job. We are using RPA. So therefore, we are freeing up the resources, and those resources can be used for a higher type of work.
Right, and in fact, since you brought up RPA, especially a lot of time and efforts of the tax department typically went into things like reconciliations or mundane repetitive tasks, and therefore RPA is a very, very good solution to those sort of things. But again, let me move to another Bollywood film and talk about innovation a bit. So I recall, another film where people go and confront their fears, like in Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara. They go out and they confront their fears and they do something which they've always wanted to do, but was a challenge, and they had to face their fears. So if innovation is something similar to that, where you have to innovate, you have to take certain risks. You have to, make an investment to ultimately get a return. And I think business is about that, right? We have to take certain risks, and that makes us innovate and therefore brings us a higher return. So today, if you had to take a risk and if you had to put money on a project within your tax department, what would that be?
Innovation, I think inertia in any organization is common. So you wanted to be there where you know that it is working fine today. I don't want to move. This is the practice. This is the way you are doing it. So therefore, I think that is taking you back from doing something which is different than your routine. So I feel risk is there because people feel that if you switch on to a newer technology or a newer way to do that, then probably there will be you don't know, because you more believe on people than machines. So therefore you may see that whether I am reporting a right thing. Somebody has to look at that data, and then it should go or get into reporting. So I feel these are the general fears as far as the tax is concerned. And the innovation in tax is that you need to automate the things. You need to push it. There may be APIs you can use. There are SAFT, that kind of codes are there. Those the tax department require you to report in such a way. Even make your tax digital won't allow you to have a human intervention in between. Your system should talk. So there I feel that anyway, today or tomorrow, you have to switch on to that. Then why not to do it early? So this is something we go along with that. And therefore, we are experimenting these things like RPA, automation, or outside the ERP, we have certain kind of tools which are developed. Those are adding value, and those, like I can say that in TCS, uh, we do matching of GST input credits with the vendor invoices and the GST and data. So that saves us a lot of effort on chasing the vendors, and then even the loss of credit. So this is something internally developed, and I think the innovation is coming out of that. The ERPs were not supporting to this function because this was something, a kind of a bypass we have to create under the AP. So therefore, to implement this, so these are, I think, the decisions where you should be taking risk, and I'm proud that is paying a lot to us. So it will reduce your cost, and it will have uh, maybe you are more compliant with the tax law.
So I think I hear that message loud and clear. So you say stay ahead of the game. Up until now, the government has actually stayed ahead of the game, but now I'm feeling taxpayers are catching up. And what you talked about SAFT as well. I mean, that's probably the next hurdle we need to get across in India. And it's certainly something that we are also thinking about, and we want to be ahead of the race, as things happen. So thank you very much, Vinod, for spending this time with us. I think some of those insights were very, very useful, and we hope that the people who watch this video will also get some inspiration from some of the things that you mentioned. Thank you again.
Thank you very much.